Is that your cell phone in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? What's up, YouTube? It's the best Call of Duty player in the world, the best quickscoper, the best trick shotter, famous renowned actor, Ron Wesley from the Harry Potter franchise. Hey guys, it's Jinja, and Black Ops 6 is out, so you know we're quickscoping on Nuketown, because I feel like a 12-year-old boy who just discovered the second purpose of his private area. And this is a story time with Jinja, where I tell you 100% true stories about my life. But before I tell you my stories and we get intimate and personal with one another, I wanted to give my review on Black Ops 6, because I keep seeing videos of people debating whether Black Ops 6 is worth buying or not. So here are my issues with the game. The hit detection, you know, when the enemy is in the middle of your scope and you shoot, dog shit. I'll be right up on somebody, no diddy, shoot, and somehow miss. If real life worked like that, JFK would still be alive. And we've all heard of skill-based matchmaking, right? When you play good, so the game puts you in lobbies with other good players equally as good as you, but most of the time the other players are significantly better than you. In theory, skill-based matchmaking makes sense. In reality, it's dog shit. But what if I told you there's something worse than skill-based matchmaking? You've ever heard of skill-based damage? Skill-based damage is when you're a good player and you're shooting at another player, but that player's not as good as you. It will take you more bullets to kill him than it will him to kill you. So you could unleash a whole mag on bro, and bro could shoot your pinky toe, and you're dead. Also, it's a Call of Duty game, so you know the spawn points are trash. I'll literally spawn and there'll be a guy breathing down my neck like my uncle right behind me. Every time I spawn, there's a dude right up on my back. And not in the good way. But besides all that, the maps are really good and it feels like Black Ops 2, so I'm loving it. Now that that's out of the way, grab your snacks, rub one out, because it's story time, baby. Our first story involves college. And what do you think about when you think of college? College parties. So in college, my college was here and there's a rival college right down the road, and the colleges used to compete over who had the better parties. So the college down the road announced that they were having a kissing party, and me and a bunch of friends from my college found out about it and wanted to go, because duh. So me and my friends go to the college down the road. So we walk into the kissing party and I see a bunch of students from my college, and surprise, surprise, there's not a single person at this party that I personally would like to kiss. I'm sure they didn't want to kiss me either, but keep in mind, this was a kissing party, and my college was an art college. All I'll say is that every student at this kissing party looks like they need a kiss because they haven't been kissed in decades, if not forever. So even though the kissing party was lame, I was really jealous of this college because it was really fancy. And it felt like a traditional college, because when I was growing up, I used to love seeing colleges and movies like frat houses and sororities and all the fun they would have. And my college experience was nothing like that. I had some crazy moments, but I'll get to that in a second. So anyways, me and my friends decided to explore this college, and we went to like 5 different dorm rooms that were each throwing parties. But then the college security started going around the campus and kicking out any student that didn't go to that school. So me and my friends decided to run and hide. And I think we ended up in a classroom. So I'm hiding in this classroom. There's double doors on this side of me and a door on this side of me. And out of nowhere, the most handsome, no diddy, dapper gentleman in a suit fully fitted to him walks in through this door. Just walks in, hair slicked to the side, holding a drink, doing this with his pinky. And to top it off, he was like, "Hello, gentlemen. Fine night are we having, eh?" I can't do accents, but he had the most intellectual accent. Intellectual. Man, I'm cooked. He had the most intellectual British accent I've ever heard. Got it that time. So now I'm just standing there even more disappointed in myself, because not only is their college way better than my college, but even the students are better. Like, this is the school standard of students? I'm over here in like joggers, a normal t-shirt. No girl at that party would have kissed me over this dapper gentleman. So this beautiful gent talks to me and my friend for like 2 minutes and then proceeds to walk through the double doors. Majestically, might I add. And then not even a few seconds later, a girl comes running in through the same door that he entered, and she was like, "Have you seen my friend?" And I was like, "You mean that dapper British gent that just walked through here majestically?" And then she was like, "Oh no, he's speaking in a British accent. That means he's blackout drunk." She then proceeds to open the double doors, and all you see is rows of chairs. You know, classroom chairs, and the British, not British guy apparently, blacked out on top of all the chairs. Like, clearly opened the double doors, tripped, and just ate it, and just looking like Peter Griffin. Just, I don't know if you could see me, but he was looking like this. That's not a good angle. That's really not a good angle. That's gonna get me banned. You looking like this. So I started to feel a little bit better about myself. Because he's not a dapper British gentleman. He's an alcoholic college kid who speaks in a British accent when he's blackout drunk. He's gonna make a great uncle one day. And while we're still on the topic of parties, students at my college used to throw an end of the year party every year, and they would go crazy at this party. Keep in mind I went to an art college, so students would make life-size mannequins of teachers and put them in a fire pit and set them on fire at these parties. Kids would also be on a lot of stuff and would try to jump over the fire pit or run through it. There's a lot of stories about that happening. Not only did they do that, but they also had a kiddie pool that was roped off like a boxing ring. And if you had beef with another student all year, you could duke it out with boxing gloves on in the kiddie pool at the party. So there would be a lot of drunk college kids running through fire pits and also boxing each other in a kiddie pool, settling beef that they had all year. Now, don't get me wrong. This kiddie pool boxing method should be incorporated in more places, like classrooms or at your job. You got beef with your coworker or classmate? Settle it in the kiddie pool. Also, one time, me and a bunch of my roommates were renting a house in college and we threw a party. And we had spray paint outside because one of our roommates had to spray paint something for a project. And for some reason, or no reason at all, somebody at the party took the spray paint can and drew a male wiener on the backside of our house. Just a giant schlong. I wasn't even that mad about it. And it was a good drawing. Again, we were in art school. Also, side note, but one time in college, I was at a club, and when I decided to leave and I went back to my car, somebody had drawn a male wiener in the dirt on my windshield. I didn't really appreciate that, but what can I say? I attract the wieners. I have a girlfriend, by the way, which brings me to my next story. For my second date with this very beautiful girl, I decided to take her to the movies. Very normal, super cute, but I took her to see Terrifier 3. Now hear me out. I didn't see Terrifier 1 or 2. I'm just sick of ghost movies, horror movies, anything like Paranormal Activity, The Conjuring that is supposed to be scary, but it's just not scary. They rely on cheap jump scares that only scare you because it's a reflex. Now when I say Terrifier 3 is scary and not a good date movie, let me give you some context. First of all, if I was not on a date with a pretty girl, I would have walked out of that movie in 2 minutes flat. Straight up. 2, there was a bathroom scene, which for YouTube reasons, I can't tell you what was happening, but what I can kind of tell you is the clown walks in with a chainsaw and shoves it up the chocolate valley of a man and cuts him from the chocolate river upward. Are you following along? You know what I'm talking about, right? Then after slicing him from the Willy Wonka tunnel and up, he flipped him like a Krabby Patty, and you see the sausage, you know what I'm talking about, right? You see the sausage just flap over, and then he just cuts him upward between his cherries. Do you understand what I just told you? We were watching the most over-the-top, gory, gut-wrenching, stomach-curling murders you could ever imagine in cinema history. She ate that movie like a champ, by the way. There was a few moments that got her, and I did nothing to comfort her. Nothing at all. All that being said, I don't know how that movie's in theaters. It was the worst thing I've ever seen, meaning it was the best horror movie I've ever seen. I was horrified. The entire movie, I was like, they're allowed to show this? Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and put those push notifications on. And if you have any funny or interesting stories of your own, make sure to comment them below and tell your sister I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get caught looking through her window. I meant to do it, just not get caught. I'll be more discreet next time.